Why, hello there, welcome on in. Today is episode 43 of the Digital Quill podcast with your host, Mars Wilson. Now, today is an interesting episode because over the next few episodes, I want to say until about episode 49, they're going to be kind of niche episodes. That's right, folks, you heard me correctly. And the crowd goes wild. She said niche podcast episodes. Now, not all of these episodes are going to be, I don't know, what do you call it? Video episodes per se. I don't know. There are some days, as you've noticed if you've been here before, I have had absolutely no videos. When I do the first round of guest episodes, I usually do no video. Anyway, hello there. Hi, welcome on in. What are we going to talk about today? Well, today's niche. If you are a fan of Disney or Disney Dreamlight Valley or My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, you're going to like today's topics of conversation because it is all pony related and also Disney related, at least Disney Dreamlight Valley related, because at the end of this episode I'm going to be talking a little bit about that. But first and foremost, let us go over how I'm probably considered a Pegasister, though I don't really claim those titles because I already have enough labels I slap on myself. I don't really need any more, even though I technically qualify. And the reason I qualify, that's actually kind of a funny and long story. You know, maybe, just maybe, it isn't a video episode today. How's it going? Hello there. I am wearing the cow thing today. So, My Little Pony, huh? Do you know of it? Are you aware of it? Do you hate it? Do you like it? Do you have no opinion of it? I don't really care either way. And the reason I don't care either way is simply because it is just a really good show. It's only 2 minutes in. I think I can leave the swear words out if I haven't already failed. But yeah, it's a really good show. All right, all 9 seasons of it spanning from 2010 to 2019. Wow, it's been over 9 years. Nice. All 9 seasons of it. All, I think it's like 200 something episodes. There is something to be said about that show. There was a documentary I watched some years back where it was literally just a bunch of various people with different backgrounds that kind of was just talking about the love for the show. We had big burly biker men and adults of all ages. We had old folk, young folk, like everybody. Literally everybody and their mama was on this documentary. And it kind of made me feel better about liking the show. Mainly because, like, I think I discovered it when it came out. But I didn't become like a serious fan until like middle school, high school, because 2010 was a year before my dad passed away, and I wasn't really watching or consuming a lot of media. I think Gallivant might have been on at the time. Oh no, I'm gonna have to talk about that one in an upcoming episode, which I need a pen and some notes. Google, take a note. But yeah, it's like one of those shows that like I knew of and I probably watched a little bit of it, and I didn't become a fan until a little bit later, so like probably on a rewatch or something. And then I became a fan, so I know not as much as most people probably would think. If I had to scale my MLP knowledge, there's the experts who live and breathe My Little Pony, who have probably all the figures and like plushies and just everything and know everything. And then there's the ones who kind of know everything, who collect. The ones who don't know, or who do know things and then don't really collect. The people who know nothing way over there, which probably is a lot of the people who will listen to this episode. And then maybe, actually, I don't know, actually. You tell me. Again, are you a fan? Do you know? Do you have a favorite pony? This is a great episode to comment on if you have a favorite pony. I would like to know your favorite pony. I will tell you mine momentarily. Which means you have to wait and keep listening. My knowledge is weird. So I know a lot. I know a lot more than I probably should. I know about a lot of the cameos. I know a lot about the lore and fandom and canon content. I don't know everything. I'm not an expert. I'm not like a freaking master of MLP knowledge. I would say adept. Sometimes I think of it in like Skyrim terms, like novice, adept, expert, master. Is that it? Is that like the terms? So if that's the terms, maybe I am an expert. I fall somewhere between apprentice and expert. Novice, apprentice, expert, master. Yeah, I fall somewhere between those two. So I'm not like an expert. I'm not an apprentice. I know enough, but not enough. Slender Pony. Highly amusing. If you don't know about the Slender Pony legend, now you do. Go look it up. There's a lot of speculation online that states that the Slender Pony lore is actually not an actual canon or like actual thing that happened in the design or editing. And if you know anything about animators or animations in general, it's the same thing with like game developers. You can leave Easter eggs because there's like a certain level of freedom that you can do with things that kind of get past the discerning eye, right? Slender Pony was one of those things. Unfortunately, and this is actually something that a majority of the internet, including myself, agree upon, the animator who added the Slender Pony, and I think I actually need to find an article to link that, because I believe, do not quote me because I could be incredibly wrong, but I believe that the animator who created Slender Pony was fired after doing that. And that is just a travesty. Uno momento, let me pause this. Pause powers activate. My apologies about the pause that you're not going to notice very much, but I am, because now I don't know where I was, other than My Little Pony. The cats were being annoying. Cats. Bad cats. Let's see. Slender Pony, human got fired. Need to link that article. Don't really know beyond that how much that is true. There's a lot of other little things and cameos that made it. And if you aren't a fan of the show, and you are a fan of Weird Al Yankovic, you'll be a show fan now. Weird Al Yankovic appears in the My Little Pony show a few different times, actually, and if you stick around for all 9 seasons, there's a wonderful surprise at the end. Especially if you end up being a fan of Pinkie Pie on any level. Anyway, Cheese Sandwich, who is pretty much Weird Al in pony form, is voiced by Weird Al himself. There are a couple of songs. It's a great little like side piece to like the whole show itself. There's a few cute lessons that Pinkie Pie and like the other ponies learn through Weird Al's character Pony Cheese Sandwich being in the show itself. Beyond like the happy and like preppy colors and everything, or poppy, preppy, happy, bright colors and pastel colors, like it has a lot of good values as far as a show goes. Like you have like friendship lessons and like just different ways of like teamwork working out or not working out. And yeah, it kind of follows the happy trope of good thing happens at end of show, but like Is that always such a bad thing, especially in a world filled with like problems and stress and bullshit 9 to 5 jobs? In 2017 October, My Little Pony the movie came out, and that is actually also kind of interesting if you are a fan of, say, Sia. Let's see here, let me look this up and then I'll show you. Here we are. I have to sneeze. Sorry. Allergies are whack. I don't know if I can zoom in and you guys can clearly see these names, but Emily Blunt, Kristen Chenoweth, I did not say that right, Kristen, Liv, Michael Pena, Sia, Taye Diggs, Uzo, and then Zoe Saldana. This was also a pretty great movie. Like, here's the main six. If you haven't seen it and you don't know about Twilight Acquiring Wings, that is an interesting thing. Here is the description. It has a 48% Rotten Tomatoes. It's a lie. Don't trust this crap. Really. I mean, seriously. IMDb has a higher score, but I guess technically by average it probably goes in here somewhere. See? 75% of Google users like this movie. October 6th. Like, it's a pretty good movie. It has good lessons, just like the show, and it's actually kind of neat because, yes, the animation's a little different, and after season, I want to say 6 or 7, because if you watch the movie and then you come back to the show, it's probably 7 or 8, somewhere between 6 and 8. If you come back after watching the movie, it immediately jumps into one of the shows. So, like, movie ends, season starts, something like that. It's kind of neat. Like, you don't need to watch the movie by any means, but like watch order and stuff like that, if you're kind of like a media super nerd over that, that's kind of the thing. Let's see. There are a few episodes that I like a lot. Parental Guidance, I believe, is one. Let's see. Or is it Parental Guidance? Was I right? I was right. This one's an interesting one. It's when this happens. So that's fun. Oh, hey. That's nice. Let's see. I'm trying to remember the other episode titles, but I know for sure in season 2, maybe 3, Sleepless in Ponyville is the first episode we really see like a Scootaloo and Rainbow Dash pair up, and that's actually kind of neat because that's the first time we like are introduced to the sister-ish dynamic. I don't think My Little Pony helped my non-traditional roles when it comes to families and friendships and conventionality or conventionalism, conventional BS. I wonder if that glitch or any of the glitches appear in the video, like when you're watching as a viewer, because that was an interesting one. Let's see. I'm trying to think of like other little lores and tidbits I can share, because like It's kind of hard to talk about this show just off rip to anyone who would listen, because, like, there's so many little things from, and I don't want to give out, like, spoilers, because, like, if you end up watching it, but then again, you know, not everyone minds spoilers. It depends. Maybe we'll have another coverage episode about this. Who knows? For MLP, it's actually like a comfort show of mine. It's something I will always like consider to be a comfort show of mine. And I know some people like might roll their eyes at comfort show because they're like, oh, well, what do you need a comfort show? You're a grown adult. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm a grown adult with years of trauma and abuse and neglect underneath my belt, and I didn't really get to have a childhood or a normal functioning childhood that was actually safe and secure, so the fact that I have to have a comfort show really kind of highlights the fact that we live in a world not really designed for human beings and society on a large level, and I just think you should really, pardon my French, shut the fuck up on that one, because, what's that quote? C'est la vie, live and let live. That really does mean a lot more than just the quote on the basis itself. My mother, who was a very judgmental and cruel sometimes when it came to her words and things she would say, and meanings, actually was crying one day at me or to me and told me, practically begged me to keep my childlike innocence. And as the person who not only abused me growing up, but also was there when I was being abused by other people, which is interesting considering how she handled things afterwards. Anyway, neither here nor there. She begged me, practically, to keep my childlike innocence, especially when it came to liking shows like My Little Pony. And I'm never going to forget that moment, because that was one of the moments that, even though she judged me profusely over things, that was the one moment I saw just maybe a small, minor glimpse of who she could have been if she grew up in a different environment and actually had the support that people need to be functional and healed and coming from places of light and love. Weird side tangent, but before I jump into the next thing, I actually kind of want to explain what that means a little bit. So, I've touched on it a few times before, and this is actually an easier way to touch on it because it's not as convoluted and sinister, I guess, for lack of better phrasings. But I finally had the language to explain it a little bit. And I want to use My Little Pony as a show, as kind of an example as why I think this is a good basis. Community and friendship and love and light, magic of friendship is a good basis for understanding the human condition, which is something I know we've talked about in the past. This was supposed to be a light and normal conversation about My Little Pony, and I'm turning it dark and heavy. Good job, Mars. Humans inherently need each other. We are not a solo species per se. We need each other for lessons, we need each other to bounce ideas off of, we need each other to exist. And the internet is a nice little, tool to kind of help with that, but we need the physicality of it a lot more than we think. The physicality of human-to-human connection, human-to-human touch, just human-to-human. I do not necessarily believe that people are evil or start out that way. There are evil people who have done evil things. Don't get me wrong. Before you get your panties in a bunch or your boxers in a twist or whatever, I think we do have the capacity to be more evil than others at some times or at some points. I don't think that is zero. But if you take someone who already has the ability to be a terrible human being. Insert psychopath, narcissist, abuser, anything here. Any word, any negative word about how you could describe someone, right? If you take them and put them in an environment where it is only negativity, no love, no connection, no learning, no growth, no healing, nothing, and you keep them in that environment already having the predisposition to whatever, are they going to turn out to be like a better person for it? Because that's where nature and nurture come in. If you don't nurture the nature in a positive, healthy way, the nature will be bad, will be terrible, it'll be awful. This is where community and people and it takes a village come in. Awareness, understanding, commitment to understanding, or trying to understand. I don't necessarily like that I've had these things happen to me, but in my lessons I've been able, and just even with like experiencing like the positive things, like what normalcy and positive friendships and families look like, even like on a minute basis in TV and media. If my mother and even my biological father, if any one of the people I've come across, including myself, were brought up or placed in certain environments, would we think or act or behave the way that we do now? And I'm not talking about like the good stuff that you get out of whatever, but I meant like, would my biological father gotten into drugs? Would my mother have hated raising me if X, Y, and Z happened? Do I blame them for their choices? Yes, because they could have chosen differently. Do I blame them for the person or the people that they are because of the environments they were in? No. And that is the key difference right there. I do not blame them for the people that they are. I blame them for the choices that they make and don't make. They do not choose to become better versions of themselves. They made the choices they made because they were stuck. I will stand by that, at least until I learn new things. Now, to wrap this up and make it a more light episode after tying MLP into my understanding of the human condition and how my parents and people in my life could be better people, DDLV, Disney Dreamlight Valley. Game I've been playing since it came out back in 2022. I finally have gotten a couple of people, sorta-ish, to purchase and download and play the game a little bit, one with more success. So I finally have a friend to play it with. That is awesome. With that being said, this friend is jumping into this game 3 years late. And that's fine. That's okay. But it gave me the idea that I struggle with niche content. I don't want to be a DDLV Dreamlight Disney Valley creator of content. Oh God, please no, do not. This is your warning. Do not label me as such. I will cry on the inside eternally and you will not see it. But for the time being, especially since I want to test out the capture stuff with the Switch, somehow, perhaps, maybe, I don't know yet. We'll see how that works. I am going to do Dreamlight Valley content. One of the things that I'm going to be doing first off is showing off different clips of YouTube videos, because apparently I can't show off the whole thing. Maybe, I don't know. I don't really care if I get copyright. It doesn't matter. I will leave the links in the bottom. I think I did that for the Dreamlight Valley video anyway. Anyway, I might as well just kind of try out the niche thing a little bit when it comes to at least that, because I talk about the game so damn much, I might as well show you guys that I actually do play it from time to time. Been playing it a lot more lately because the star path ends in like 5 days. I still haven't gotten everything I want from it. I accidentally purchased the monkey. I didn't intend to purchase the monkey. The game just glitched on me, and boom, I purchased the monkey, and that's fine. That's okay. Goodbye, precious hours of tokens wasted. Whatever. So that was that. I might be doing DDLV content in the future, so expect possibly more niche content. And maybe also future episodes regarding the My Little Pony world, because that's actually kind of an interesting world, and if I can find that documentary, we might watch part of it. Comments, questions, concerns, or thoughts, please put them in the comments below, or just anywhere that you can. If you want to be a guest on this podcast in the future, please email me at thedigitalquillmedia@gmail.com or dearmars2023@gmail.com. Excuse me. This was episode 43 of the Digital Quill podcast with your host Mars Wilson, where we talked about random stuff, but also not random stuff regarding the My Little Pony and Disney Dreamlight Valley world today. Thank you for tuning in. I will see you next time, Digital Quill family. Thank you for letting me share my time with you. I hope I was able to teach, inspire, motivate, or entertain on some level, and then also thank you for giving your time to me. I have a great time learning and traveling, not so physically yet, but eventually, with you guys. Thank you for tuning in once again. Remember, humans of Earth, to always keep going. Do not stop breathing. Remember to pause and take a deep breath every now and again. And also, drink water. Be safe. Keep going. Do not stop. Bye, humans of Earth and the Digital Quill Media. Yes, stop recording.